Hey, this is Phil Browse from Sarasota, Florida. Um, last night I didn't sleep too well, and I stayed up late watching a movie. And it was the Trail of the Pink Panther. It was an interesting movie. It was a little bit different than most of the other Pink Panther movies. Um, if any of you are familiar with that series of movies, a very old series, it was made after Peter Sellers had already passed away, if I understand correctly, and it was made with clips of unused footage from the previous movies and some other live action that was interspersed in there and made to bring it together. But in the movie, the Inspector Clouseau, is investigating the disappearance of a famous diamond. The name of the diamond is the Pink Panther, and this is the premise of all of his movies. He's always investigating this diamond that goes missing. But in this movie, his plane disappears en route to another country, and it disappears over the ocean and is presumed to be lost. So there's a TV reporter, news reporter, that is investigating Clouseau's life, and she's talking to a lot of coworkers, friends, and people that the inspector had arrested in the past about what kind of person he was and who he was. And one of the people that she is speaking with, the character's name is Sir Charles, and he was someone who had been arrested by Clouseau for stealing the diamond in the past, and was a suspect in many instances. Well, Sir Charles is telling her about how inept Clouseau is, and she's asking, well, this is kind of ridiculous. He's the most famous detective in France. He's the most successful detective on the force, etc. How can he be such an inept person? And how can that be? How can he be so successful if he's such a fool? And Sir Charles says something to the effect of that in spite of being a fool, he is extremely successful because he is dedicated and because he doesn't give up. He says that he never gives up. And then he goes on, they talk a little bit more about how he doesn't think that Clouseau is dead. He doesn't think that Clouseau will ever die because the world needs men like him. So, and I was thinking about needs men like Clouseau, not so much that he's a fool or that he's inept, but because he's such a determined person who never gives up. That's what the world needs. And that's what we each need in our own lives. We need to be the kind of person that never gives up. We need to be the kind of person that is dedicated to the task at hand, who is dedicated to our final goals. We need to be the kind of person who is going to see things through to the end. And that is how you're going to find success. I've talked about the mindset that it takes to be successful before. I've talked about being dedicated and being consistent and things of this nature. So it was just interesting to me to see this brought out in this particular movie. And it was just it was a key point in the movie, but it was something that you could easily miss along with the rest of the dialogue. But it was highlighted by the actor and the character that was speaking, because it was a central character in many of the movies. And I just found it fascinating. It was really neat to see that and to hear that statement come out, that the world needs people like that, and that pretty much anybody can be highly successful if they're dedicated and they never give up. So that's my hope for you, that you will be dedicated and that you will never give up on your goals, on the tasks at hand, whatever it may be, whatever you're after, changing who you are to be a better person, relationships with others. Don't give up, and you will succeed in one way or another. As was pointed out in the movie, Clouseau very often had a very rough time getting to the end goal, and went down a lot of dead ends. He had a lot of falls. He had a lot of missed connections and was wrong a lot of the time along the way, but he never lost the attitude of persevering, of not giving up, and going forward as if nothing had happened. There's the key right there. Just don't give up. Keep going forward as if you know that you're going to obtain your goal, that in the end you're going to be right. That's something that was repeated throughout this movie by other characters as well. And even though this is a comedy, fictional movie, it was amazing to see that brought out as a thread throughout this movie when it's such a truth in life. So again, I'm wishing you all the best and that you will obtain your goals and desires. And in the meantime, go ahead and check out my blog and look around, see what there is that I can do for you, what you might be able to find inspiring. And I'll talk to you another time.